Hey BookTube, how's it going? Um, as some of you know, we are packing for a move, and as you can see, my favorite bookcase is now empty. I have the boxes of books all over the place, over here and over there. Um, but Zoe is still taking her TBR card. She reorganized it, put some more books in there, took some books out. It is full to the brim. And she's like, we don't know how long we're going to be there without our stuff while we're building. So I want to make sure I have books to read and stuff like that. Because it could be years, which is a joke. Like, it'll be a couple weeks, tops. And I said, I'm like, I have so many ebooks I haven't read, and I have a bunch of like audiobooks. Like, maybe I should just pack all my books up just to save room and blah, 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 whatever. And she's like, yeah, no, you need to like find some books to take, because like, as much as like you want to just like read your audiobooks and your ebooks, you're gonna lose your mind if you don't have anything to read. And I'm like, well, honestly, I'll take a couple, okay, but I'm not gonna go crazy. All right. I still don't think this is crazy, but I think it's more than I thought it was gonna be. It obviously is. So basically, I'm going to go through my Summer TBR and show it to you guys, because, and I usually completely fuck up TBRs, and like I never stick to them. But I think this time I might stick to it because I have no other option except my ebooks and audiobooks. So we will see how this goes. But first, for those of you, if anyone has ordered any zines and stuff, they're all printed out. I just gotta package them, and they will be going out today. But I did want to show you guys one thing. This is the new zine that I'm doing with a couple of my really good friends who are also into classic horror movies. So this is Cinecrypt, issue 1. I have an article about how to watch the Universal Big Three, which is these guys right here. There's an article about Conrad Veidt in The Man Who Laughs, The Phantom Eric, and that's by Stephen Thompson. The Phantom Eric did an article about the horror hiatus of 1937 and 1938, which is due to the Hays Code. And filmmaker and personal friend of mine, Charlie Vaughn, wrote an article about him growing up and discovering The Bride of Frankenstein and discovering James Whale, and how that kind of helped him become the filmmaker that he is today. So it's part 60s monster rally, monster fan, fanzine, and part 1980s, 1990s Xerox fanzine kind of thing. So as you can see, there's a ton of like amazing pictures in here. I gotta get that. Hello? Oh, and we're still recording. Okay, so anyway, the Hays Code. But yeah, I'm really just super proud of this thing, and it's not up yet on our site, on the Etsy store, but I'll be putting it up probably today. And then look, Zoe did a mini monster email order with you can buy little monsters from her. Isn't that cute? Okay, seriously though. So, yeah, that's Cinecrypt, issue 1. Hope that goes well. I will say that that is an ink monster. It eats up so much ink. So I'm going to have to maybe change the font. Or I don't want to do smaller pictures because one of the things about those old magazines like Famous Monsters of Filmland and stuff, they had these amazing pictures. And yes, we live in the internet age and anyone can download anything they want. But before the internet, you had to take what you can get. And if you got a magazine and it had a big old picture of Elsa Lanchester in it, you were like, oh, I need to get another copy of this so I could cut this picture out and frame it and hang it up on my wall. So anyway, enough of that. So, TBR, okay? I am stuck with this TBR. Everything's packed. So, some of these will be books that I started reading that I forgot I was reading, or that I like misplaced, or like I try to keep my books in the right area and the right shelves and all that stuff. I try to have like little areas where I put my books that I'm reading. But somebody in this house, I don't know who it is, they do this weird chronic cleaning up thing, and then all of a sudden I don't know where my books are. And then I'll find them, and then or I'll grab a stack and I'll just set them somewhere, and the next thing I know, I am not reading a book anymore. So one of the books that I started reading that I didn't finish is One Fearful Yellow Eye by John D. MacDonald. It's a Travis McGee novel. If you remember my Travis McGee video I did, if you somebody just left a comment on it. I wish I remembered who it was, but they went into kind of detail about how it's not so much that the Travis McGee books are like whodunits or mysteries. It's as much. Why does Gizmo do that? He like digs and kicks his feet when he's gonna eat food, and he gets all excited. But anyway, he was talking about how these books are really more of Travis being a guy who is a little bit older, trying to deal with the almost like the sexual revolution and the new world's place for women in it, and how his like the view of women that he was kind of raised with has been changed, and now he has to deal with the new woman. And it's kind of a neat way to think about it. I mean, obviously, it's just John D. MacDonald having issues with society, but it's kind of a cool way to look at it, and I think it's almost more relevant now because now you can't say shit to Shanoa to nobody, and nobody knows nothing about nothing, and everybody's a Nazi. So there you go. John D. MacDonald. So I wish I would have grabbed the next book in this series. I don't know what box they're in. So maybe I will dig, maybe I won't. So I will do that. Next, I started reading this the other day. Gore Vidal's Meyer Breckenridge. I think, if anything... See, the thing that sucks is I know what this book's about, and I know, like, what the twist is and all that other shit. So it kind of sucks. But I wonder if everyone knew that, because it says, like, on the back, like, everything you've heard about Meyer Breckenridge is true. Shocking. So it's like, did everybody know? Because the way this book is written is very... It's very creative. I'm wondering if this... If anyone knows this, was this like one of the first books that kind of was laid out in a... Because it's kind of epistolary with like... almost like diary entries, but then there's other shit in it too, like recordings or something. recording disc, yeah. I don't know. It's just like I'm enjoying this more as a piece of art that's been constructed than the actual story. So I'm hoping that the story gets really, really good. But I really enjoy how it's molded. Okay, so now we're gonna go into my homie and deal with this. Why is this book here? I've read this. Why is this here? I don't know why this is here. But this one is this the Bjorn one? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Alright, so anyway. I have Conan the Warrior out here. I don't know why I've read it, so I'm gonna walk off camera like a weirdo and kind of shove that there. Alright, now I'm back. Okay, so we're gonna do the Bjorn Nyberg. This was basically the first full-blown kind of fan fiction pastiche that ended up being put out. So this book has The Return of Conan by Bjorn and The Hyborian Age Part 2 by Robert E. Howard. So I have not read Bjorn's Conan tale, so that will be fun. I'm excited about that. Then, for more Conan goodness, I have Conan the Raider by Leonard Carpenter, Conan the Valiant by Roland Green, and Conan the Outcast by Leonard Carpenter. Now, I'm not 100%, but I think I remember reading that the Leonard Carpenter books are absolute garbage, which is probably why those are the only ones you find when you go into used bookstores. So, if that is true, let me know down below. But that looks very Cthulhu-ish, so that's kind of cool. I got Blade Runner 2, The Edge of Human by K.W. Jeter. So this is a novel sequel to Blade Runner the movie. Not the William S. Burroughs book, but the actual Blade Runner movie. So this isn't following the same story as Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, if that makes sense. K.W. Jeter wrote 2 more books in this series. I have the next one. I don't have the 4th one. But let me know if you've read any of these K.W. Jeters below. And you know what? Let me say something. If you worry, because I worry about this when I'm watching people's videos. If you worry about not wanting to leave like a shit ton of comments under a video, but I know people forget, especially in longer videos like this one. So, if you wanted to leave a comment about Conan, leave a comment about Conan while the video's going. And then if you want to leave a comment about this, leave a comment about this while this is going. I don't mind getting a ton of comments on a video as long as it's like a conversation. If we're all talking, I don't give a crap. So, but I freak out all the time, and so like I'll watch a whole video and try to remember all the things I want to comment about, and then try to do it in one comment, but I always fuck that up. So if you're one of those people like me who freaks out over stupid shit, leave as many comments down below as you want. It's completely fine. Stream of thought, guys. Stream of conscious. Go ahead. Conan Exiles. Oh. So much stuff's going on with Conan Exiles, guys. It's not even funny right now. Okay. So, Tarnsman of Gore. I'll be honest. I've tried reading this like 3 times, and I don't know if it's just one of those things where, like, I'm busy or something happens or somebody needs a ride somewhere or blah, 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 blah. But I've started this so many times and just can't get past like the second chapter. But I'm gonna fucking try to do it because I picked up a bunch of these books basically for the Vallejo artwork on there because it's amazing. And then I got Outlaws of Gore as well out of the box because if I end up liking this book and I don't have the next book to read, I'm gonna lose my effing mind. Okay, so other books that I almost finished. King Kong. Don't know why I didn't finish it. I was loving it when I was reading it. Kurt Vonnegut, Look at the Birdie. Was loving it. And it's just one of those books that got put on the bottom of a pile and I never went back to it. I think because it's short stories and essays and stuff, I feel like I could kind of come in and out of it. I am taking Breakfast of Champions, which is one of my favorite books of all time. It just makes me feel good. It's like, you know, when you're down and you're like, fuck, man, boom. Read this, you feel good in minutes. If you guys haven't read this book, you're missing out. It's highly, highly recommended. I also am gonna finish and then here's another one because it's a poetry book. I just like dipped in and out of it. You Get So Alone at Times, It Just Makes Sense by Charles Bukowski. And then I also am taking the Rooming House Marigolds, which I have not read yet. That's early selected poems from 46 to 66. So I got those. So I got my Bukowski covered. And then some of these other books I know I've shown you guys before because I've been wanting to read them. And then I just keep, like this one, Agent 13. I've been wanting to read this ever since an amazing person sent it to me. Wink, wink, Mark. I really, really want to read this. This looks like it has every single thing that I absolutely lose my crap over. And I just haven't sat down to read it yet. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. So there's that. Edwin L. Arnold's Gulliver of Mars, which inspired the John Carter series by Edgar Rice Burroughs. And in this gorgeous... God, I almost don't want to read this. I say this every time I pick this up. This book is in such beautiful condition. The last thing I want to do is open it. And then I got the first Lou Archer novel, The Moving Target, also sent to me. And then the first Spencer novel, the God Wolf manuscript. So, thank you, Eric. So I want to read those. And then I have an Oak book here, an Otis Albert Klein. Maza of the Moon. I really want to read that. Look at it. By the author of The Swordsman of Mars and Planet of Peril. Wow. That's Swords of Mars and Fighting Men of Mars. What a ripoff, dude. I heard they had a bit of a Otis and Edgar Rice Burroughs had a bit of a rivalry because Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote the Barsoom, the Mars John Carter books, and then he wrote like not even pastiche, just like plagiarized, allegedly, story about Mars and the pulps and stuff like that. And then he was getting ready to do a Venus series later, and that's when Edgar Rice Burroughs busted out with the Carson of Venus books, and that really pissed him off. Now, according to, I think, the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate, there was no bad blood, and they don't even know if Edgar Rice Burroughs knew who Otis Albert Klein was. According to the Klein estate, it was a little more saucy, a little more spicy. So we'll see. I also have Anatomy of a Murder, the edition with the Sal Bass cover that Zoe got me. Excited about that. And then my trashy Bloody Kansas Western don't feel like I have enough westerns in here now, but I haven't touched my western shelf yet. Okay. And then I got some Lee Brackett, um, the Hounds of Skaith, and the Ginger Star. Now I think the Ginger Star was one of the books, and Lee Brackett wrote Empire Strikes Back, guys. Was one of the Ginger Star was one of the books that was still doing planetary romance, so that's cool. And then I have Michael Moorcock, Master of the Pit, so I'll give that a go. Barbarians of Mars. Are you effing kidding me? That's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Then I have a stack of Carter Brown books that I have not read, so I'll just show you that. Now, the reason why I have so many of these is because I could read 2 or 3 of these a day if I'm chilling, and they're so easy read. Oh man, they're great. So basically, I picked up because Al Wheeler and Mavis. I never know how to say her last name, but the Mavis books. Those are my favorite Carter Brown books, and I have read a couple Danny Boyd's, and I think I've read one Rick Hollerman, one Mike Farrell, one Andy Kane. Is that it? That might be it. But, so I have a bunch of Danny Boyd and Rick Hollerman books here. So, The Ever-Loving Blues, I actually think I read this, so I'm going to have to check that. Who Killed Dr. Sex? And most of these have these awesome McGinnis covers. I don't know if this one is. Lover Don't Come Back, Danny Boyd book. Nymph to the Slaughter, Danny Boyd book. These covers are just gorgeous. And then in the 70s, they came out with these shit covers, but I'll show you those in a minute. The Ice Cold Nude. This is also Danny Boyd. Now, Danny Boyd, for those of you who don't know, is like I liken him to almost like Mike Hammer. Rick Holman is a more like a Philip Marlowe. No, I'll say a Lou Archer. Only the Very Rich, Danny Boyd. The Silken Nightmare, Danny Boyd. These covers, like, I started getting these books for the McGinnis covers, but they're so fucking good that I don't know how. There's Danny Boyd again, The Passionate Pagan. I think I read this one actually. This guy, the only book that sold better than Carter Brown books in the 60s was the Bible. How did Carter Brown just like fall out of like mainstream? I don't understand. That's got to be like one of the like fastest falls ever. The Jadeite Jungle. This is a Rick Holman. Rick Holman, Nude with a View. This one's pretty big. This is another Rick Holman, Play Now, Kill Later. That is a beautiful cover. And here's an older one. Danny Boyd, Terror Comes Creeping. And then this is the last Al Wheeler book I have, The Aseptic Murders. Look at that snazzy couch. Nice. Okay, and then I have these ones here. These awful, awful, awful covers. Walk Softly Witch. That's Danny Boyd. The Master. This is Rick Holman. This has like vampires or some shit in it. Long Time No Leola. The fuck? This is Rick Holman. And Manhattan Cowboy. This is Danny Boyd. I think I've read this one actually. I have to check. I don't know how to. It's not that the books are so similar, but usually in the first chapter, like the inciting incident is so ridiculous and awesome that you'll know if you've read it before. Alright. So, now we have one more stack. This stack is all Edgar Rice Burroughs. Because I feel like I'm going to need pulpy fun if I'm busting my ass every day in the hot sun. So, we got Tarzan and the Ant-Man. I read this already, but I really have like no memory. I mean, I do, but like this is probably the most forgettable book, and from what I've read, this book is kind of like where the Tarzan books, like the quality of them, like skyrocket. This one and the one before it. So I want to give it another go because I don't know if I was just in a bad place when I read that, but I feel like I didn't do it justice, so I want to give that another go. And then I got the next one, Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. That's supposed to be awesome. And then 12, Tarzan and the Lost Empire. Now, the book after this is the book where Tarzan ends up in Pellucidar. I think it's Tarzan at the Earth's Core. Does it say on the back of here? Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, wait. Does it? No, it doesn't. I'm going to kill my dogs. Nope. Okay. So, and these are the first editions, or at least they are the covers of the first editions, I think. I'm pretty sure these are the first Tarzan paperback editions that were released, and these were released with permission or authorized edition from the estate of Edgar Rice Burroughs. I almost have a full set of these ones, although the Neil Adams black covers are the ones I'm trying to get a whole set of right now. Anyway, so I have that. Should have enough Tarzan. I'm actually... Oh no, did I lose my bookmark? Shit. I'm halfway through Carson of Venus. And it's got this cool, like, Amazon woman thing happening right now, which is kind of neat. And then I'm taking Escape on Venus, another beautiful Boris cover there. And then this old ace, The Wizard of Venus. This is the last one, and this also has pirate blood in it. Now, I could just read that to you right here. The final adventure of Carson Napier among the exotic peoples and beasts of Amtor is Burroughs' The Wizard of Venus. A sequel to his fabulous Four Venus novels, it is an adventure not to be missed as Napier encounters a new kind of science and a new master of alien deviltry. Pirate blood, which is included in this very special Burroughs treat, is something no reader of the Tarzan, Carter, Napier novels will want to miss. Never before published, found among his papers long after Edgar Rice Burroughs' death, it's a complete adventure novel of excitement, high-pitched action, and daring do. Its hero, a devil-may-care experimenter, designs his own aircraft and ventures among the little explored islands of the far seas to find that piracy still lives and that chivalry still requires the maximum of endurance and the utmost in courage. I didn't know that. I thought it was a Carson book. Pirate Blood. Huh. It's I wonder if it's because it's just in this book that everyone kind of includes it in the Venus series. Huh. That's very interesting. I did not know that. Um, the Cave Girl. This has the caveman and the cave girl in it. So both books, obviously, they thought the cave girl would sell more copies than the caveman. Um, yeah, and the cave girl was written like 50 years before the caveman. So got that. The Outlaw of Torn. I think this is more of a medieval Norman of Torn kind of thing. This is, I believe, a Western ish. The Oakdale Affair. Edgar Rice Burroughs. That's a big bear. That's a big bear. And then Shoot on a Shingle. Is this the first one? This is the one with the pages ripped out. I have another copy of this. I have to dig and try to get it. It's just the prologue. Who cares? No, but I'm trying to see if there's some sort of. Anyway, so here's the Moon Maid, and here's the Moon Men, and then I think Red Hawk. The Moon Men is a stunning story of tragedy exploits of Julian the human who dared to fight for freedom. It is the story also of Red Hawk Julian's descendant, the nomad who attempted to bring. Yeah. I think that this has. Yeah. So I have the Moon Maid, the Moon Men, and Red Hawk, which is the third book of the Moon trilogy. So yeah. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading this summer. So if you want to hear more about the books I'm reading this summer, these are them, and I will be talking about them at great length over this summer. I love you. Goodbye.